Hello, I'm Tania and this is my channel Just Let Me Sew. Thank you very much for joining me today. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and welcome if this is your first time at my channel. I hope you enjoy what you see, and if you do, I'd love it if you would consider subscribing. If you have watched my channel before and have never subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you would. It's free to do and it just helps my little channel to grow and be pushed out there a little bit more by YouTube. Today's video, I am talking about my plans for spring, summer. And these are very ambitious plans, but after going to Stitch Festival and signing up to Stash Hub, I thought actually I would like to take a bit more of a targeted approach in my plans and to really pick out those fabrics that I've had in my stash for quite a while, or things that I really want to make, patterns that I already have. So what I did was I sat down and I went through my patterns and I pulled out all of the patterns that I really want to make up. Now, some of those patterns I have made up before. Some of them I've cut out the pattern pieces but have never used them. Or some of them are completely new. So I divided them into cut and uncut. And the reason I did that was because I hate cutting out patterns and I hate cutting out the fabric. So I thought if I have a make where it's a bit more involved, I have to cut everything out from scratch, I would like my next project to be something that is a bit easier, that isn't quite as time consuming. So if I know what I've got in which, I can alternate and plan a little bit better than that. So that is the first step that I took, pulling out the patterns that I really want to make. The next thing I did was I had a look at my fabrics. And as I'm sure most of us do, we have fabrics in our stash that have been sitting there for a long time, bought them with a project in mind, if I know exactly what I want to make with this, and I've never made it, and it's sat there and sat there. So I went through my stash and I pulled out all those fabrics that I just love, I really want to make, and I matched them up to one of those patterns that I pulled out in my stash. So I paired them all up of what I would like to make, and I really thought about it carefully. Would the fabric work well in that pattern? Would I wear it? When would I wear it? How much wear would I get out of it? Would it be a useful thing to have in my stash? Because if we're investing all this time in making these beautiful garments, you've got to be able to use them and make the most of them as well. So in total, I came up with 13 projects. Now, it usually takes me a couple of weeks to make something that's a bit more involved. I can only sew in the evenings, and that's every other evening because my husband and I take it in turns to do bedtime with the children. So not every evening do I get to sew. And even if I have an evening to sew, sometimes I'm too tired to sew and I don't have the energy to do it. So usually a couple of weeks to make up a more involved project, maybe a week to do a less involved project, or less than that if it's a really quick, easy make. So ambitious that I have 13 projects because I probably won't get through all of those even by the end of summer, but those are my plans. And what I have done is I have set them all to one side rather than just putting all the fabric and the patterns back in my stash. I have laid them all out and I took a photo just to remind myself of what I have got planned for every fabric, what my intentions are. And then I have stored them all in this big shopping bag. So a big Sainsbury's carrier bag. And I have got a couple that just need to be pre-washed still. I tend to wash my fabrics as soon as I get them, so I know that they're risk-free of shrinkage. And I put them in my stash, but there are a couple that haven't, so they've gone off to the wash. So I'll talk you through the projects that I have got in mind. Now, if you've watched my channel before, you might know that I don't really wear dresses very often. However, I have bought quite a few dress patterns in the past, and I have bought a few fabrics to make up dress patterns as well, which has meant that they've just kind of sat in my stash because I haven't wanted to sew them up because I'm like, well, I want to make that dress with it. So I've just kind of left it. So out of all my projects, my 13 projects, 4 of those are actually dresses. Now, They're not fancy dresses. Some of them are more casual, so I can see myself getting a bit more wear out of them. And the first one is a New Look pattern. It's New Look 6449, and I plan on making the simple t-shirt dress. So short sleeve, probably have it to the knee or just above, in a lovely pink and white French terry that I got from Adam Sew's D-Stash, and I will show you the fabric. I can't show you the fabric because that is one of the fabrics that has gone for a wash, but if I can take a photo of it, I will insert the photo here for you. The next dress that I want to make up is, of course, the Aspen dress. Now, I've had this in mind as soon as it was released. I knew I wanted to make up the Aspen dress, and I have got a lovely denim fabric in mind for that. It's a lightweight denim. Again, I can't show you that fabric right now, but I'll try and insert a photo of it. I want to make the short sleeve version, no pockets, and I'll probably reduce some of the width because I've heard there's a lot of width in the skirt, and I will raise the bodice a bit as well for me. The next dress I want to make, I have had in my stash for at least 3 years, I think. I bought it as soon as it was released, and it's a funny one because I absolutely love this dress, and I thought it would be everywhere. I thought loads of people would want to make it, and it's the Vogue 1777, and I've barely seen anyone make it. I love the notched collar. It's a notched collar which goes down into a crossover at the front. It's got a lovely full skirt which has got pleats to it, and a short sleeve. I have heard that it's very oversized, so I will make sure I measure myself carefully for that one. I've also heard that the V can be quite low and it's not secured, so I'll think about raising that possibly a little bit as well. And I don't think I will do it the full length that's shown on the pattern packet either, but I love that, and I've got in mind just a plain navy linen for that, so nothing particularly fancy. I got this linen, I think last summer, from Legend Textiles. It was about £5 a metre, and it's a lovely quality linen, so I'll make that up, and I think that will be lovely for the summer, for casual, maybe for wearing for work as well. Again, I really want to push myself to get that made up, because while I don't wear lots of dresses, I bought that pattern because I loved it, so I would like to give it a go. The next dress was inspired by Erin from Erin Sews, and it is the Mimi G S9740. Apologies, just looking down at my notes there, and I'll put a picture of the pattern here. I love the collar. The collar's very on trend at the moment, that sort of sport polo neck collar with the lapel, placket. I have made placket in a knit before, and I used the tutorial from Karina from Lifting Pins and Needles, who is just fantastic in her tutorials, so I will be using that again because I have made a placket with a big 4 pattern before and it wasn't very straightforward, so I'll definitely go back to Karina for that one. And apologies, I'm going to make that up in a navy interlock. Now, I think I got this from Pound Fabrics or Pound a Meter, one of those online shops. And when it arrived, it wasn't really the quality that I've been hoping for. It is quite thin. I've washed it, and already it's going, you can't really tell here, but it's going quite linty, sort of bobbly. But it'll be good for a toile, if nothing else. With both of the t-shirt style dresses that I'm making, so the Mimi G one and also the New Look one, what I am a little bit concerned with is that it will ride up a little bit. So if anyone's got any tips on how to stop t-shirt dresses doing that, let me know. Possibly cycling shorts underneath or a slip, but I don't think you really want to wear a slip in the summer. It gets a bit hot. So if anyone's got any little magic tips for that, please let me know in the comments down below. So those are the 4 dresses that I want to make up. Next up, I have got tops, and I do love making tops. They're definitely my favourite type of garment to make, and I've got 6 on my list. So for my tops, I went in the different order that I decided the fabric first that I really want to make, and then the pattern. And I love the Marni blouse. I've got about 4 versions of the Marni blouse, so definitely want to make up a couple of Marni blouses. I also got from the swaps table at my sewing social in Red Hill the olive blouse, and also want to make up a vintage Vogue pattern, which I will just grab for you. It's this one that I have shared on my vlog before. It's a Calvin Klein Vogue 1878, and I make up this version here, which is just a simple v-neck. Doesn't have a collar. That's got a shawl collar there, and that's just a brown neck. So I just go for the simple v-neck. I've raised it a little bit, and it's just a lovely go-to blouse for the summer. Nice, straightforward, easy to make. So those are the patterns that I want to make with my viscoses, and I will show you those fabrics. So first of all will be a fabric that I shared in my last vlog, which is this beautiful rayon that I got from Purple Stitches at the Stitch Festival. And the other fabrics, this one I've had in my stash for the longest time. I got this from Truro Fabrics very, very long time ago, I think like 4 years ago, and it's a viscose crepe. The next one I bought fairly recently from Emporia Patterns when they were reducing all of their fabrics, and I got 1.5 meters of this lovely fabric godmother. It's a viscose twill. I think this one I will make the Vogue v-neck, because with the viscose twill, I think if I add a collar, I'm a bit worried that it might look a bit like pyjamas, so I'm going to go for the v-neck with that one. I love this, so pretty. And then the last viscose I've got is a gorgeous Nerida Hansen that I got from So, I think the shop is called. It's so soft, really pretty. And I just got 1.5 meters of that one. So I won't have enough to make a Marni. I think I'm going to make the olive blouse with this one. I've never made the olive blouse before. That was one of my, this was one of my cut but not made patterns that I had in my stash, so I'll give that one a go. Next, I have another skirt that I would like to make. Now, in one of my previous videos, I shared my trip to Walthamstow Market, and I picked up 2 very inexpensive poly satins that are sort of more like lining fabrics. And I have made up one of them, and I'm going to share that in a video soon, that I've made a bias skirt out of it, and I have struggled to get consistency with bias skirts before. I've made one before where it worked amazingly well and looked lovely, and then I've made another one where the seams sort of turn in on themselves and look a little bit twisted, and I just don't know why or what I did differently, but it didn't really work out. And that's what happened with the Walthamstow fabric, is that I'm not really that happy with it. So I've got it hanging in my bedroom. I haven't hemmed it yet because I'm just not really sure. And because it's poly, it's not really going to press very well either. But I thought I will give it one more shot, use up the fabric that I bought from Walthamstow, and then it's done. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And it is this one. It's this animal print. So poly, satin, not very thin. Could be used as a lining, but it's fine for a skirt, I think, in the summer. So if you've got any other tips on sewing with bias to stop those seams sort of turning in on themselves and twisting, please let me know, because it's a bit frustrating. I have read lots of blogs on it and watched vlogs of what to do, and I've tried it all and it doesn't seem to really be working out. And then the last one that I want to share is trousers. So I bought these 2 fabrics at Stitch Festival, and I shared those in my Stitch Festival video, which was my last video I released, and they are both animal print denims. I will share them with you right now. I've got this blue denim from Roy's Material World. No stretch to it, but I'd like to make a pair of peppermint wide leg pants out of this. And then the other one I got was from Rainbow Fabrics, which again, I shared the details of in my last video, but it has got a fault running through it, but it was a remnant piece. So there's about 2.5 meters here in this denim animal print as well. So again, another pair of wide leg trousers with that. And then I just realised I have forgotten one of the dresses that I wanted to make, and this is the kilo wrap dress. I bought this when I won a competition with So Essential and treated myself to this pattern, which I had been looking at for a long time, and I've heard amazing things about it, that it's really comfortable, very easy to sew up. And I did actually buy some fabric for it in mind. I just haven't got round to making it up yet. So the fabric that I have in mind, this one, and that is from Sarah at Simple Life Fabrics. I love Sarah's shop. She does fantastic value fabrics, always very reasonably priced, very competitive. And it's this lovely stretchy pink jersey, light pink background with some more raspberry pink dots all over it. So I want to make that into a kilo wrap dress. So hopefully that'll be a nice, quick, easy make. If you've made it, did you find it to be easy to make? Any tips for making that one? I'm not sure what length I'll go to, just below the knee maybe, with a short sleeve as well, I think. So those are my plans for spring, summer as it stands. I would like to get through as many of those fabrics and patterns as I possibly can, because these are plans, I said, that I've had in mind for quite a while. Fabrics that I bought with the intention of making these things from them. So I feel like I want to get them sewn. We don't usually make things because we absolutely urgently need it. Sometimes we do, but usually it's because we want to make things. So I want to take those projects that I've had in mind for a long time and actually make them, rather than jumping from plan to plan. So I'm going to give this approach a go, see how it works out. If I start to feel a little bit too tied and burdened by what I'm making, then I might deviate from that. And there might be other things that pop up that I'm distracted by. I did mention that I want to make a short sleeve t-shirt with some waffle knit that I bought at the Stitch Festival. So I might make that. That'll be quite quick, easy sew. And I would also like to have a go at making Adam Sew's caddy as well. So couple of things might work their way in. I'd love to know what your plans are for spring, summer, and what kind of approach you have. Do you map things out, or do you just go with the project as it takes your fancy? So do let me know in the comments below how you plan for your sewing, if at all. Thank you so much for watching and for bearing with me in my very long rambling plans. I do hope you come back to my channel sometime soon, and in the meantime, happy sewing.